Hey Valley Metal, tonight we're going to work on solving word problems that involve fractions and mixed numbers. But first, let's get to the trivia question of the day. What is the Terracotta Army? What is the Terracotta Army? I saw it at the Minneapolis Institute of Art a couple of years ago, if that helps. All right, let's get to the official target of the day, which is 5.5c. I can solve real-world problems by multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. Let's do this thing. Mrs. Crothers is making a poster to take to her favorite band's concert. The poster she has to decorate is 2.5 feet by 4 4/5 feet. What is the area of the poster? Actually, here's a picture of Miss Crothers at her favorite concert. You see it's Barney Live. She's on stage, actually. This is just a really important moment in her life. But back to reality here. How do you solve this? We're trying to find the area of this. Well, let's just go ahead and set it up. We have 2.5 feet by 4 4/5 feet. All right. So first thing you have to do, remember my bottom lines, make your mixed numbers into improper fractions. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5 halves. So I rewrote that fraction. 4 times 5 is 20, plus the 4 on top makes 24 fifths. And I rewrote that one. All right, now just stay neat and organized here. I reduce these fractions because I can divide both 24 and 2 by 2, so that goes 2 goes into 2 one time, 2 goes into 24 12 times. Now notice how I rewrote it again, so I continue to work in an organized fashion. So now I have 5 over 1, and I rewrote it, by 12 over 5. Now multiply straight across, you get 5 times 12 is 60, 1 times 5 is 5, 60 divided by 5 is 12 feet squared. And that's it. That's how you solve a word problem. Very similar to yesterday's lesson, but I'm really going to focus in this lesson on staying neat and organized, and a couple other little pointers right here. All right, just a quick review. Mixed numbers, a whole number with a fraction. Improper fraction, those are those top-heavy fractions where the numerator is larger than the denominator, like 7 over 2. Also, my multiplying fraction bottom lines we had yesterday. Turn mixed numbers into an improper fraction. That's numero uno. Number 2, multiply straight across. Number 3, reduce and rewrite. I add 2 to this list when you're looking at word problems. Number 4, does your answer make sense? 12 square feet, yeah, that made sense. If I would have come up with 1,200 square feet or 120 square feet, that wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. All right. Finally, did you answer the question? The question in that first example said, how many square feet? Go back and look at the problem. Are you answering the question? Are you labeling your answer? These are important steps 4 and 5 in our little multiplying fractions bottom line checklist. Quick review, how to change a mixed number into an improper fraction. I did this last night. I want to do it again. Here we have 2 and 2/6 as a mixed number. 2 times 6 is 12, plus the 2 on top makes 14/6. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus 2, 14. I wrote down there as well. Okay? Let's roll and try a couple of problems here, then I'll have you try 2 on your own. Last week, Jing Wei spent 1 3/8 hours watching television. Ibrahim watched television for 1/5 as many hours as Jing Wei did. How many hours did Ibrahim spend watching television? Make sure to simplify your answer and write as a proper fraction. All right, let's get down to the basics here. What do we know? We know that Jing Wei watched 1 3/8 of an hour, and Ibrahim watched 1/5 as many hours. So we're going to multiply 1 3/8 times 1/5. Well, this number's okay, but this dude here, as a mixed number, we got to switch that into an improper fraction. So 1 times 8 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So I rewrote that, 11/8 times 1/5. Now if you look here, there's no way to reduce any of those fractions by any, I can't divide anything out either in the numerator or the denominator, or looking diagonally I can't reduce either. So just multiply straight across. 11 times 1 is 11. 8 times 5 is 40. 11/40. Does this make sense? Yeah, it seems right. Does it answer the question? No, it doesn't. The question asks, how many hours did Ibrahim spend watching television? So we need to make sure that we add a label to our answer. Ooh, what's going on here? Here we go. To make sure that we have completely answered our question. All right? I bet you I got you on some of you on that one. All right, take a look at another example here. Shannon operates an orange juice stand. On Monday, she used 6 1/10 bags of oranges. On Tuesday, she used 1/3 as many oranges as on Monday. How many bags of oranges did Shannon use on Tuesday? Again, we have to simplify our answer, right, as a proper fraction or as a whole number or a mixed number. So, bottom lines right here. It's 6 1/10 times 1/3. Well, 1/3 is okay. This dude here, this mixed number, got to change him into improper fraction. So 6 times 10 is 60, plus 1 is 61/10. So I'm going to rewrite that. 61/10 times 1/3. Let's see, can I do any division here? I really can't divide anything out, so just multiply straight across. 60 times 1 is 61. 10 times 3 is 30. So I'll come up with my answer, 61/30. But I got to express it in simplest form. So now I got to go back to a mixed number. So I had 61/30. I know that 30 of them would make a whole, so I subtracted 30/30 here. And then I subtracted 30/30 again. So now I've got 61 minus 60, leaving me only 1/30 left. And here's my two holes. Here's my one hole, two holes, and I've shown it as a mixed number. 2 1/30. Does that answer make sense? 2 1/30. She used 6 1/10 on Monday. A third as many on Tuesday. Yeah, that makes sense. Does it answer the question? 2 1/30. No. Once again, you need that label. You need to make sure that you are answering the question. I'm sorry, folks. I can't grab that one for some reason. All right. So it would be 2 1/30 bags. But I can do this. Ha, ta-da. All right. Let's move on. Trying for you to try a couple on your own. Raja's class collected 7 2/3 pounds of food for the food drive. Marissa's class collected 8 times as much food as Raja's class. How many pounds of food did Marissa's class collect? Simplify your answer. Write as proper fraction or as a mixed number. Go ahead and give this a shot. Pause it. All right. Let's see how you did. Well, you had to multiply 8 times 7 2/3. You have to write 8 as an improper fraction. You put 8 over 1. Here they're showing you how to change 7 2/3 into an improper fraction. So 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 is 23/3. So now you've got it rewritten here. You've got 8 over 1 times 23/3. Multiply straight across. 184/3. If you divide that out, 61 1/3. But that's not the answer, is it? Here's the answer in the oval. 61 1/3 pounds of food that Marissa's class collected. Make sure you answer the question. All right, last question before the ticket. Crystal and Jillian made a bowl of punch. Jillian used 7 1/5 times as much lemonade as Crystal did. If Crystal used 4/5 of a cup of lemonade, how many cups of lemonade did Jillian use? Simplify your answer. Write as a proper fraction or as a whole or mixed number. Go ahead and pause it and try this. Okay, I'm back. Let's just see. 7 1/5 times 4/5 cup of lemonade. So here we go. Here's what we have to do. This one's okay. This one we're going to have to switch. So 7 times 5 is 35 plus 1 will give us 36/5, and they showed you how they did it. So we've got 36/5 times 4/5. 36 times 4 is 144. 5 times 5, of course, is 25. Reduce that bad boy down. You've got 5 19/25. But the answer, Jillian used 5 19/25 cups of lemonade. All right, you ready for the ticket? I think you are. Here we go. On Wednesday, the farmers at the Adams farm picked 5 3/4 barrels of tomatoes. Thursday, the farmers picked 3/10 as many tomatoes as on Wednesday. How many barrels did the farmers pick on Thursday? I'll pause for a second so you can freeze it. Okay. Go ahead, write that just one problem for the ticket. Solve that bad boy. Bring it to class. All right, the question was, what is the Terracotta Army? Well, it's actually really cool. It's these little clay warriors. They're about 4 or 5 feet tall. And there's this Chinese emperor in 246 BC. He was only 13 years old, King Shi Huang. He became the first emperor of all of China, and he began this work for his mausoleum. He wanted to be buried with all of this army of guys, so that they would protect him. And so here it shows some of the pits that how they dug these guys out, and they found them just the way they were buried. Of course, they went and cleaned it up. But altogether, there was over 7,000 soldiers, horses, chariots, and weapons that they've been unearthed from these pits. So anyway, pretty cool. Terracotta, if you think about it in terms of Latin, it means earth baked, or something baked from the earth. And these were, clay pottery type soldiers, so that's why they call them the Terracotta Army. All right, little trivia. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed. See you tomorrow.